So, how do you describe, explain to people the two different worlds, the hearing and the deaf world? Bell? You know Bell. Who changed the whole, who changed everything? Alexander Graham Bell and Coolidge. Both of them looked at the situation, they put their input in. Now we're going to discuss the history of sign language and education, the management, and how it's changed. So, back in the 1800s, the kings and the queens and the monarchs, who was controlling everything? Who gave out knowledge? Some people would ask the church, but everyone else knew. Everyone else was fed up with the kings and the queens. They would cut off their heads, and it was just a big mess. So the students, they would go to school and they would practice, and then, the students would become the teachers. But in the deaf world, students go to deaf institutes. So there's this man, and he was a doctor, and he evaluated people. That's what he did. So they would go to college. There's a presenter who would describe how deaf people couldn't hear. And that presenter, he was a doctor. He was the one presenting on deaf people. And you remember how the churches were declining? Well, the medical professionals were gaining power. And people basically just bowed down to them. They took their every word. And they suggested they wanted the students to be mainstreamed. Make all education mainstreamed. Now I'll ask, I'm curious. What should the deaf people do? Should they go to mainstream? Should they go to a deaf institute? What do they do? What's important for the students? How are they going to learn? Where are they going to learn best? Myself, what's important for me? Those are the questions you need to ask. The hearing world wants to just change you, and tell you what to do, but you can't listen because they don't know. You have to analyze yourself, find what's best for you. You know, what's going on with my future? What do I want to do? Analyze things. Look at everything. Take everything into consideration. But you can't just take the hearing's word. I understand the hearing. I understand interpreters. The point is, hang on to your knowledge.